Hey everybody, it's Jenny. And just a reminder, if you enjoy this video, please leave me a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed. I will also like to say today that I know the lighting is off in this video. I was filming while I was on vacation and it was a really hard way to find the perfect light to film like I have at home. And I am using the No Limits collection from Cocoa Vanilla for this month's theme of stars. And there are lots of stars included in this collection. And I loved that it didn't take on a patriotic feel. It's just a very masculine, fun collection that is perfect for these baseball photos. I have a 4x6 photo that I am just trimming down to be 3.5 by 5. I like that scale better for an 8.5 by 11 layout, and I'm going to use a couple of different pattern papers that have stars on them. I'm going to cut them down to squares and then trim those in half so I can have pattern paper in the corners of my layouts. I'll use a couple of different patterns, one for each different corner. Now I'm also going to use this dark navy. It has stars, but more what you would think of like stars in terms of like a celestial sky appearance versus like just straight up stars like we're seeing in some of the others. Now I'm going to mat my photo on this turquoise slash teal patterned paper. I really like that it sort of makes the colors pop. It doesn't match, but it coordinates, and so it really gives it that little extra bit of oomph that I really wanted. Now I'll go ahead and start by adhering down my corner pieces. This nice big one. It was a 6-inch square, so it's got 6 inches, give or take on each of those sides. And then down here is a little bit smaller, and that was on purpose. I didn't want it to take up as much space as the one in the top did. Now I can go ahead and get my photo down. We have the basic premise of my layout right here. And now I'm going to go ahead and start the embellishing process. I have a few different things that I want to use, including these die cut titles. I actually really like these a lot. Like, they are perfect for what they are for titles. They're bold, they're very neutral, being that they're black. The words are pretty generic, so if you're looking for something very, very like specific, then you're not going to get it. But they're just really, really great. I like them a lot. I will, if they are in the shop, I will link them up. This is a slightly older collection. It may have come out in like April or something like that. So I'm not 100% sure that they're still available, but I will link them if they are. All right, so this title is going to be You Got This. It's just of my son pitching. And we will use the clear glue. I like this glue a lot. It is a nice wet glue. It holds well, and then obviously it dries clear. I like using the wet glue on this title because there are little die cut pieces like from the center and stuff, and so I don't have to worry about any of my adhesive showing through. Now, I definitely want to embellish around the title, but I also would like to create a couple of clusters as well. And so I'm going to create one down at the bottom, and I thought that the frame was sort of the perfect base for this cluster down at the bottom. And then I'll do a little bit at the top and then quite a bit right next to the title as well. So this won't be the traditional way that I do things like with the visual triangle, but it will create like a straight line instead. So just changing it up a little bit, but I still really like the finished look. Now, these chipboard pieces are self-adhesive. However, sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me to get a hold of the little backing part. So sometimes I just peel whatever I can and then use the wet glue. It works just as well. And in some cases, a little tiny bit better. But that way I don't have to sit there and pick at it, to get that little white piece off to have the adhesive show through. And since I already have the glue out on my desk, it works fine. So you can see I'm scattering some different pieces around, leaning heavily on the stars because that is obviously the theme of this layout. So we have the chipboard stars, and then we have the two pieces of patterned paper with the stars as well. And I love that they're all really different, but that they tie in together so well. I think they look great. And the other thing I think that looks really great is in these chipboard, you have some that mimic like hand-drawn stars, and then you just have some solid stars as well. They all look really good. Now up at the top I used the pennant because obviously this is a baseball game, and so it really made sense to have that sort of athletic feel, that varsity like font type thing. The pennants work great for that, and I love it because obviously it is a photo of my son pitching during a baseball game. And then I've added a couple of little stars up there at the top for that little cluster, and I just love how that turned out. Now I'm going to do a little bit of journaling down the side right here in this white place. And so I'm using my ruler to draw the pencil lines for my journaling. And this isn't a very big area, so there's not a lot of room to stagger the lines to create a little bit more of a whimsical, less structured approach. So I am doing the best that I can because I don't want it to be completely linear. I do want it to feel a little bit more free flowing. So I'm just going to use this Sharpie pen to add the journaling right along there. There's not anything really super specific to say. I'm not adding any statistics or anything like that. So it's really just about him pitching and the overall idea of that, but it is turning out perfectly well. And then we have one extra journaling line. So what I'll do is I'll erase all of these lines, including that extra line, and then I will use that space to add the date. So I'll use my roller date stamp and add the date right there down at the bottom where I could have had that extra line of journaling. I just didn't really have anything that I wanted to say right there. So you can see right there I'm using the journal date stamp, like I said, with the VersaFine ink. It's just such a classic choice. It always gets the job done and makes it look really cool. Now that is it for me this week. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much and make it a great day.